Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pash On Podcast. Let's get started with your host, Brian Pash.
Hi, this is Brian Pash. I'm in the studio with Tim Cox, co-founder of CarNow, and we've recorded this video to give you a little sneak peek what's coming up at the NADA conference and what's in store for the year ahead. Tim, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me, sir.
So NADA, there's a lot of noise. Press releases coming out, new features. Everyone's trying to get dealers' attention. Yet, I think we're still trying to chase finding solutions that help dealers, OEMs, and consumers come together and have a great buying experience. What has CarNow been working on to help move that ball closer to get all parties on the same page?
Well, we still believe that the online to in-store experience is paramount. In fact, that's what's going to be moving. A lot of the OEM initiatives are online to in-store, that showroom piece. So we have greatly enhanced that experience and the seamless connection from online to in-store with our showroom tool, and seeing some incredible results as far as closing deals, which at the end of the day, it's that lead to close number that we really focus on, because a lot of other analytics paint a picture, but it's about selling cars, obviously, and something that we're really excited about. And we wanted to be thoughtful because obviously there's a lot of AI products. We're going to be at the show, and there's going to be
It's going to be top of mind.
Top of mind. What are you doing with AI? And we wanted to be thoughtful because we have a fiduciary responsibility to take care of our dealers.
That's right.
And to make sure that we protect our dealers. So we're very excited to announce, and we're announcing it here first.
Come on, let's go.
This is the first that we partnered with Amazon, and we now have a suite of AI products. And our biggest launch at the show will be a product that we're calling Reconnect. So we will be able to take all of the leads, not just CarNow leads that a dealer has, set different campaigns, and then automate that response, and they get them back into the store.
And I'm assuming dealers who are listening that since you have the ability to know the car they were interested in, you can calculate current payments and offers based on OEM rebates and incentives. When you're reaching out to these people to re-engage them, you could actually present an offer that they can book and buy.
100%. And I really think, we have looked at the entire AI space a lot like the EV space. And EVs, I use this scenario, if every person in America had to drive an EV today, right, it'd be a problem.
A huge problem.
It'd be a big problem. Not enough charging stations.
That's right.
Range anxiety, all the things that we deal with. But everybody today could drive a hybrid. And I really believe that, our tools continue, whether it's our OEM numbers that we're seeing, we're converting at 80% as far as chat to lead. So converting at 80% and then adding AI to push that customer down and then handing them off to a live person is going to truly enhance that closing ratio, is why we're so excited.
One of the things that you and I have talked about is how sometimes people use KPIs in the wrong way. Many years ago, I coined a term, form completion rate, FCR, that talked about when someone starts a process, what percentage finish. And yet, the true reason I did that is to show that there was friction in the form process. We were asking for maybe too many things. Not that that was the metric that helped sell cars. And you mentioned your tool and your ability to get deals done. If a tool is converting, let's just say, hey, their form completion rate is 40, 50%, and you have two tools, the next metric that's so important is, what is my lead to close? Let's talk about that, because sometimes dealers focus on leads and they're not organized to really do a fair comparison on start of a process to a lead and then lead to close. How does CarNow stack up on other retailing solutions on dealers' website on that lead to close metric? Because I think that's extremely important, as long as FCR is in the same range.
100%. In fact, I had the privilege, a lot of dealer groups, the end of last year, the beginning of this year, are forecasting for the year to come. And I had the privilege to speak at multiple dealer groups to kick off their year. And one particular metric that I showed is I always want to, I've been saying for a long time, facts, not feelings. So I will put up some lead to close metrics. And sometimes people, dealers, marketers, I call get the yeah buts. Yeah, but there's no way that'll work in my PMA. Yeah, but you don't understand. Yeah, but my people. In fact, there was a local dealer here, Kevin Deutsch, he was closing at 30%. And I put that metric up. And I had a few people ask off at it. So I actually called Kevin and I said, can you look at those numbers just to make sure that that's what you're closing? He said, Tim, you're wrong. I'm not closing at 30%. In November, I closed at 37%.
Now, just to set the context, a lot of dealers are happy if their lead to close is 10%, 12%, 15%. So the right balance of making sure the process doesn't create friction.
That's the key.
Right? FCR. And then with every 100 leads that CarNow generates compared to 100 leads from another solution, how many of those are closing? And then that's that lead to close. I've seen your lead to close rates. They've been amazing. Why do you think they're so high? We can't explain why dealers might pick an inferior solution. I think if they understood their data, they may change their mind. But why are your lead to close rates so far ahead of so many solutions I've seen?
I don't think there's one specific reason. I think it's the customer journey. It's what you and I worked on together 6-7 years ago, is taking forms off of websites.
Right.
It's pushing that customer down, not just delivering a lead to a customer and everybody patting themselves on the back, name, phone number, email. Now it's name, phone number, email. We know what car they were on the VDP. We know what trade they're on. They're using, in fact, Shift Digital, Bob Lanham and I were looking at a database earlier in the year. Shift Digital looked at 80 million leads. Pretty big data set.
Right.
And website leads were actually down, but digital retailing leads were up. In fact, we talked about this at the CXO, and there was some scoffing there. And it's not necessarily digital retailing, push a button, buy all the way through. It's I worked a trade. I calculated payment. Affordability right now is on top of mind because people have more negative equity than they've ever had historically, and interest rates are where they are. So they're just trying to figure out how they buy cars. But to answer your question, it's getting more information to the dealer, having the dealer see that, not start all over, and the dealers that just put a little process, hence the hybrid that we were talking about, are closing at a pretty incredible rate.
Let's talk about the showroom piece, because I know that you weren't first to connect online to showroom, right? Everyone was first rushing to have something online, and you had an amazing platform. Then we were trying to reduce that friction online with formless websites and going to conversational commerce. And now we know from other studies, when a consumer works a payment online, what they use, if it's the same tool that's in the showroom, right? They have more confidence that the dealer's being transparent. What are you seeing? Because I've seen the aha moment, right? When a consumer comes in and they say, well, let's just pick up where you left off. And it's not some desking solution from the 70s. It's not something on a piece of paper. It's exactly the look and feel that they started online. Tell me about that evolution with your new showroom product.
Well, it's taking what we had and making it better, enhancing it to that seamless. And this is a word that's been thrown around for almost a decade now. That's seamless, but in all sense of that's the best word. That's seamless, because people, when someone spends 20, 30, 45 minutes online to figure out what their trade's worth, to figure out if they can afford payment, to pick the right rebates, and then they don't have to start. That's what happened in 2020. You know, the OEMs and, oh my God, the world's falling, and everybody treated digital retailing as the field of dreams. If you just build it, they will come. And it's not, it's not the case. But when you understand a customer, you know, there's a reason, I've said this for a long time, that people pay $7.50 for a chicken and a pickle. It's about the experience too. When you give a nod, or you take the time to acknowledge the work that the customer has already done, and that's what's seamless, and that's what flows into the tool, they respond to it. people. The old saying, do unto others as you want done to you. I mean, that's what we're doing. And then with the integrations with Darwin and then directly to Route 1 and DealerTrack, being able to seamlessly just use the tool, with the unfortunate situation that happened with one of the DMSs several months back, being able to use the tool to literally start to finish.
Yeah, you had some CDK customers that were literally thanking you because they could still work retail deals just using your tool.
Ashley, I'll call her out. Ashley Covenos, who as a Demontron, that warmed my heart. Like, we were helping dealers stay open.
Right.
And they were using, they were working around, obviously we're not a CRM, but they were using our tool as a CRM, as the desking tool, and to deliver through pushing either to Route 1 or to DealerTrack, just doing the entire deal right there on the iPad.
So with all the buzz about AI, I think this year at NADA, CDPs, we're going to get some more attention.
Get some love.
AI is going to be, I think, bubbling hot. For dealers who are listening to today's podcast, because I'm sure you've heard so many products enhanced with AI, can you give me one example of how your partnership with Amazon and your new suite, a practical example of how the CarNow platform is being enhanced with AI?
Well, again, we wanted to take something that was working pretty good,
right,
and make it better. Even I mentioned Kevin that was closing at 37. And guys, look, the dealer group I was just at that was closing at 15.2%. So not everybody's closing at almost 40%. There's a lot of things that go on there.
Process leadership,
and so on. But one of the main examples is even Kevin will say, we still miss leads. There's no dealer that's truthful with yourself.
Right.
That things slip through the cracks. Even when you're cranking like December to Remember.
Correct.
Big month, things fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
So what if I could tell you that take all your leads, set your own campaigns, not what our AI wants to tell them, set them exactly the way you want, whether it's 3 days out, 5 days out, 7 days out, and then allow the AI to send an SMS directly to that customer. And then again, when it reaches that customer and then tags them back in, hence the hybrid back into a live person within the dealership.
I love it.
Yes.
Tim, there's a lot of distractions, parties, invitations, demos. I hope dealers take some time to come and see you. Can we just put up the graphics right here and just remind everyone of the booth number?
Yes, you see the booth number right behind us. You are going to want to come and see us. There's a few things that we're going to tease out. As well, that we're not talking about on this podcast. You're going to want to come out and see us as quickly as possible. At least see what's new and where we're going and why CarNow as we continue to innovate in the automotive space.
Great. Well, hey, thanks for listening in on this pre-NADA podcast. I will be summarizing a lot of the great tech and ideas that I see at the show. So look for my upcoming podcast interviews with people from the show and, what I thought was the hottest items of the show. Tim, thanks for coming in the studio.
Thank you.
Take care. Good luck at the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.